Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. Excuse me. It's time for a Friday night in the Homestead, and tonight's topic, power for your buildings. And how's everybody doing out there? Let's go over here and take a look-see at comments. All right, first in was Walt Rogers, then Shady Hill Homestead, and then Diana too. And those are the comments being made. We got several others that are out there lurking. Lurking is fine, folks, but kind of appreciate at least say listening or you can give the thumbs up. That'll help out. All right. So tonight's is a little bit different than other times I've talked about power on homesteads. Because usually I talk about, you need options for it. You can get, backup generators. You can get solar for the house and integrate it in and have transfer switches and stuff like that. But if you've got like a chicken coop out there, such as this, and you don't want to run power from the house out to it, we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about if you do want to run power from the house out to it, we'll talk about that as well. Unbroken 1010. Can't stay long tonight. Got a meeting. Happy New Year. Catch you up next time. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. And it's not just like chicken coops. It could be a barn. It could be a detached extra garage that never got hooked up to the house, and you just need some lights on in there to see. You don't need to have an air compressor in there. You don't have anything else in there. It could be a garden shed where you just put your garden tools in, a lawnmower, leaf blower, and stuff like that. Or it could be a little bit bigger garden shed where you actually drive a ride-on lawnmower into it. So we're going to try to talk about all those tonight, and hopefully I will give you guys some good options, and we can share out ways that you guys can do something like this and make it work for your buildings that do not have power. Alrighty. So going back to this I picked this picture for the thumbnail because I like horses. I admit it. I love horses, and this is a little has a set of paddocks in there for horses and stuff. But they got the lights out inside and they got lights outside for it. So, but let's go on to the. There we go. This is a cool idea. I'm not too sort of it the functionality or the what's the word? The execution. There we go. The execution of the plan. Because if you notice, if you look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the sun hitting the some of the panels up here, but the rest of the panels are in the shade. And whether or not this is just providing power for the chickens or providing powers for the barn or whatever, or a storage shed, tool building, whatever it is behind it, not sure which it is. Having it where it's in the shade, and for the looking at the shade line that I can see up here, I would say it is well on 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's you've lost several hours of power production here. But if you have a chicken coop with a run area and you don't have a lot and you don't get a lot of snow, putting solar panels either over the chicken coop itself or over the run area is an option. If it's way away from the house, or you don't want to dig a trench, put a line in and get the permit set up to hook it up to your house electric. But there are there are legal ways around that as well, and I'll talk about that as we get going here. But this is just an option some people have. Here's something a little bit more, scaled right for a small chicken coop. They got, looking at the size of that panel up there, I would say that's a 5-watt panel. And I would gather it's just for running the automatic door to open and close it, so that at a certain time in the evening it closes down to keep critters from getting in there at night, and in the morning it opens up so the chickens can go out in free range and scratch around. Now, whether or not it also includes lighting for in the coop itself for at night, if you need to go check something out, I don't know. But I'm willing to bet that this unit has a battery pack in there, and that charger just charges that battery pack to work the automatic door, which is not a bad idea. Besides solar, there are a whole mess of different types of wind power turbines. There's, the ones that look like this, where it turns, how do I want to put it? Like up and down in front of it. There's also ones where it turns this way and it's got scoops and the whole thing turns like a, like a helix, like the genome helix, but they're all little scoops, so it turns on the slightest bit of wind pressure and doesn't generate the noise that ones like this have. But you can get these super cheap all over the place. Here's another one, and this is obviously up next to a house where they got a couple solar panels on the house. But they only got a couple solar panels, and they got that, so it may be just for the garage. Who knows? But you can combine them. You can have a solar panel for when the wind's not blowing, and you have the wind turbine for when it's cloudy, rainy, and the wind's blowing, and you still get power generated there. All possibilities you can think of for it. There's another little cute one. This is a little garden shed. They put it on like a little deck platform. It's got a couple solar panels on it to power the lights that are inside. Not sure what they have inside, whether or not they have a small battery. I got one available here. It's sitting way over there. You can get a little small 50 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery and a little small inverter, and you're set. You can charge it up. You have a couple lights in there, a couple of LED lights or some light strips in there, and it'll light it up so you can see where your tools and stuff, and you're not fumbling around in the dark looking for something. Getting a little bit fancier here. This is a type garden shed. Looking at this, at the width of the doors and stuff, I bet they drive their lawnmower inside and park it inside. They got several panels on there so they can go out there, and probably has some outlets inside where they can go ahead and plug in a battery charger for whatever, for leaf blowers, for power, cordless tools and stuff. But looking at this, those look like they're 100-watt panels. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600 watts of charging power. That's a lot of charging power for a small shed. But if they have an air compressor in there and some batteries and an inverter handle to pump up one of those little donut-sized or donut-shaped air compressors, that's something you might need. Let's see what else we get here. There are ones out there that set up entire things where 4 different size buildings. They'll set up freestanding solar panel sets for you. You buy the kit, dig the hole, you put it in the ground, pour cement in it, and you set up the panels. And you can get the little interior fans and vents to put in. So in the summertime, it vents the hot air out of the garden shed, so you don't walk in there and suddenly feel like you walked into a sauna that's been turned up too high. And you can also use it for lighting around the buildings as well. This is one where they got a vent up here on the upper right here of the in the gables up here for when the greenhouse gets too hot, it opens up and they can vent it out. And if you had a solar panel off to the side somewhere, or you could even put it up here on the shingles up here to get the power to do it, and have a battery in there, an inverter and stuff. That way you could make sure that your greenhouse never overheats. Let's see what the next one is. Simple DIY, do it yourself, DIY. You want to make you got a small panel or two, and you want to put it out by the chicken coop or by a tool shed or whatever. You can just get one of these, hook it up, run a cord over to the where you're going to have the inverter and batteries and stuff. It's real easy and simple to do. It's low profile, so the wind's not going to catch it and blow it all over the place. Some other ones that are a little bit bigger. And here you can see they, down at the base, they actually dug a big hole and poured concrete around the post, squared it up. And it looks like they can go out there and adjust the angle of the panels. For winter time, if they're going to lower it down a little bit facing south, summertime they're going to raise it more up, so as the sun goes directly overhead, it gets better direct rays on it to produce more electricity. You probably can't see it there where you're at, but down near the bottom, off on the right side of the post, you can see my cursor moving. It looks like there's some conduit going down into the ground to go over to whatever they're going to do it. So they put this away from their garden shed, and they just dug a trench and ran a line, some plastic conduit over there to run the line through to whatever they have over there. And that's the thing, if you're doing something like this, in 99% of the locations I've checked out, there's no permits for it because you're not hooked up to the grid. And it's considered low voltage. You don't need to get a permit for it. Like putting in low voltage yard lights, you don't need a permit for that. Okay, let's pause here for a second. And I'm going to pull that down. I'm actually going to, I started going to get a bunch more pictures, but I figured, okay, it's going to be easier to go to for me to just show a bunch of pictures and try to upload a whole bunch to a PowerPoint. So one of the things, though, is if you, there are two ways to do this. One requires a permit, the other one does not. If you want to run 120 volts out to it, one of the things you can do, and it's legal, and like I said, in most places, because you're not tying into the grid per se. What you do is, you dig the trench, and you want to dig it down deep enough so there's no chance of you hitting, digging through there, rotor tilling, whatever, that you're not going to hit anything. If the code in your area, you can just go online, you can find out what the buried depth is. 18 inches minimum for, running a line out to your garden shed or to a detached garage or something. If it's 18 inches, you want to go at least 50% deeper than that of what the minimum is for code. So you get go to Home Depot or Lowe's or go to United Rentals, whatever, you get yourself a walk-behind trencher. You go in there, you drop it, you dig yourself your trench line, deeper than code, across to from point A, from over by the house, over to where your garden shed, your tool shed, your chicken coop, your horse paddock, whatever it is you want to run power to, you run it over there. This is you can get away with just direct burying it. Put the conduit in there, put the dirt on it, and forget about it. Having been a contractor, I like taking the safety step on this. You go through, you clean the bottom of the ditch up good. You put some fines in, make sure it's soft and level so the conduit won't break or anything. Then you get some sand, and you put 6 inches of sand on top of the pipe. Then you get, let me see if I can find this here. This is really cool stuff that'll help you do it. No telling what they're going to call it now. Yes, here we go. Boom. You can get this stuff here. This is detectable warning tape. Yeah, that is not detectable. You want detectable. Basically, it's magnetic detectable. So if if you need to find it again, you can rent one of the little metal detector type things that's made to shoot straight down. You walk across, beep, 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 and you mark you can mark exactly where the line is. But on top of that 6 inches of sand, you'll then roll this out, and you'll put 3 inches of sand on top of that. Because if you're in an area, you think, oh, I'm not even there where I buried it before. You buried it, 10 years ago. I'm not close to where I buried it. You start digging, and all of a sudden you hit sand. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I guess I am close to it. Because sand stands out against the regular soil when you start digging, and all of a sudden you hit this wall of sand or whatever, and you can go in over your hand digging and find the tape. Oh, yeah, this is where it is. And then you can move your hole if you need to, or carefully go ahead and put your hole in a little bit away from the trench where the electrical was. But that's one of the things that's doing it. Now, one of the other things you can do is if you don't want it wired into the house, you still can set it the same way, only instead of running electrical wire and hardwiring it in, if you have an electrical outlet by the house, you run extension cord through there and up, and in there you put up a little weather cap, so you have your cord coming up out of that, and you can just reach it over and you can plug it into the outside outlet. It's not permanently installed, it's not permanently wired, and therefore it's not covered by the code. Yeah. Okay, hang on, Control C. I'm going to drop something in here so Mark can come in now that he's not talking to the wife. And then you just run over to the whatever building you want to put power to. And here he is. Hey, how's it going?
Hold on, I got to kill the other sounds so you don't get the feedback. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about, I'm listening to you. I'm like, oh, crap. So my cabin, the way I wired my cabin, it's off the grid.
Mm-hmm.
I ran internal wiring with outlets, gang boxes, switches, all that stuff. I ran side-by-side circuits. Basically, I have 2 extension cords running next to each other throughout the cabin.
Right.
Outside the cabin, on my covered, outdoor receptacle, there's a plug sticking out, like literally a suicide plug, but there's no power in the building. That plugs into the extension cord, which plugs into my generator.
Yeah.
Inside the building, I have another suicide plug on the 15 amp circuit. I got a 15 and a 20. I ran yellow and white side by side. The 15 amp circuit is for the inside plug. I plug that into my jackery, fires up the lights and all that stuff. Now, the light switch is only hooked up to the inside one. However, if I'm running the generator, I plug the outside one in and I plug the inside one, I plug it into the other outlet.
Which
so
is
I now
powered by the
fired up
outside.
both sides. It freaked my. I mean, I drew it on paper. I'm like, yeah, this will work. After I did it, I'm like second guessing myself, going, wait a minute, am I gonna get? And I plug each one in. I'm like, no, it's like just plugging in an extension cord to another extension cord.
Yeah.
So it's off the grid. No, there's no code down there because it's less than 200 square feet. And I mean, if somebody ever finds it, maybe then I'll have to deal with it later. But no, it's great. I love it. I got receptacles all over the place. One of my outdoor receptacles it's a single receptacle, but I cut the little spacer in between the outlets. So one is inside, one is outside. So I can pick and choose if I want to plug in a light or something out there or my charger. But that's how I power the cabin up. It's basically an extension cord, but it's hardwired.
Yeah. And you can do that similarly with like for a chicken coop, whatever, you got like these lights around here. You can just get like a Jackery system that comes with a solar panel, and you can set that up and just use that to turn the lights on and off inside your garden shed, your chicken coop, your goat shed, whatever else.
Now I would suggest, if you're going to do like I did, instead of having a cord hanging out of the wall all the time. Now the one outside is a really short one. It's just enough to plug itself back in and shut the plastic cover. I would suggest getting the RV style ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where with your RV, it's like the prongs sticking out, but they're recessed in.
Yeah.
So you plug the female side of the extension cord into your outlet. Camper, and then you plug it into the outlet, and you're good to go. Basically, that's exactly what I did, except I have cords hanging out, but you can't get shocked off of mine.
And actually, let me pull something up here to show people because I got it here in one of my wish lists here. Okay, electrical. Oh, yes, I have a wish list on Amazon called electrical.
I have crates in my house called electrical.
Yeah, and it's like for doing the cargo containers, I've got stuff set up here, double pull, double throw power safety switches so I can run a generator on it. But this is what Mark's talking about right here.
Yeah, blow it up.
And here it comes. This mounts it. This is in the wall, has a cover on it from the outside. You just fold that down. And when you run your extension cord from your generator or whatever, you can plug it right into that. And then you have power going into your cabin, or for other people into the chicken coop, whatever. And that there is one way to not have to do code because you're using extension cords, but the extension cord going from the house to the chicken shed or the garden shed is buried in a conduit. So there's that.
Just don't hardwire. It's got to be unpluggable somewhere.
Yes. Just
don't hardwire a conduit from your breaker box in the house out to your shed and hardwire it there. That's permanent then.
Yeah, that you got to get a permit for.
Yeah, that's where you run the conduit up inside the shed, but not hooked up permanently to anything, and you have
you run outside. You just run a box outside with a cord on it to plug the cord into the outdoor receptacle on the house.
Yes, that's it.
Let me see. They show different ways. There's the like you would do for the charge off of a little generator setup, to do stuff. And there is the power box right there, where you would plug into on the side of a little shed. And that's how that works that way really good.
See, if you're really off grid, you can even put one of those in your outhouse.
Yeah.
You'll leave a little cube heater in there. And then you plug it into your house about 20 minutes before you're going to go and have a seat for a little bit, so you don't freeze your tuchus off.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, unplug it. You don't need the heat there anymore because you don't want to heat up the smell. Let it freeze.
Along that lines too, you can put. Let me see if I can find some stuff here. My mind is going at 60 million miles an hour right here. Stuff I thought about and didn't think about. Okay, so outdoor There we go. Images. Okay. And go to images here so I can bring it up. There it is. So what I was talking about, let me go here first. What I was talking about is, you can set up a on the outside of your garden shed, you can set up one of these off of extension cord. But on the side of the house, if you want, you set up one of these. This is a waterproof light switch, and you can set that up in where the conduit comes up next to the receptacle on the outside of the house, and then you have the conduit going in there, and you have your plug coming out. You just plug your this system into the house. Doesn't say you have to unplug it when it's not in use. You just plug it in there and use the light switch to turn on and off. That way you're not plugging and unplugging, plugging and unplugging, plugging and unplugging. You just flip the switch.
Yeah, but you can unplug it if somebody comes by and says, that's hardwired. No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not plugged. It's not hardwired. Yeah. So there are ways around it, and there are trying to find sometimes you'll have a double gang here, and this is also for outdoors, but you can have receptacles on one side and you can have plugs and the switch on the other. There's a bunch of different ways to wire up outdoor receptacles. And here they got it where they got the you have more things coming off the side of it. There's a bunch of ways to do it, to wire up switches and stuff and everything else. And it's an extension cord, so it's not hardwired.
Yeah, just get a basic, how to do electrical. The real basic ones, like the Popular Mechanics ones they used to sell back in the 70s. You can get them cheap. You don't need to get complicated. You're not wiring 3-way switches, 4-way switches, and light fixtures and stuff everywhere. Once you understand the real basics of it and how to wire, the black wire is your hot on 120 volt or 115, 110, whatever it is. The black wire is your hot. That goes on the gold plate, and the white wire is the neutral. That goes on the silver screw, and the green is ground. That goes on the green screw. That's it. That's all you got to remember.
Here's the book.
There you go.
Reader's Digest one. It is wide. It's like legal size paper, and great stuff. Yeah, my mom got it back in the early 70s, late 60s, and I read that a lot. But this will explain how to not only do electrical wiring, how to do plumbing, how to do a lot of stuff.
Yep, all basic, not advanced. Build your house plumbing. Although people used it for that, they figured it out. Yep. There's a lot to learn, but once you know the basics, you feel a little more stable in your environment.
Yeah. All right. So these are all types of different outdoor switches and plugs and stuff. And these don't have to be hardwired if you have it plugs into the house.
Yeah, you can hard mount the box. Just have an extension cord hanging out of it.
Yeah. So like this, like instead of this flexible conduit here, if you use the PVC plastic conduit, run it over to the house, come up, and you got another little box there, and you have another switch on it there, and it just plugs into the outlet on the outside of the house. This would be mounted on your garden shed or your chicken coop. The switch would turn on the lights inside, like up here behind me, or it could turn on. You could have one that had multiple lights, multiple switches, and you turn on outside floodlights, and you can also plug other stuff in there when you need extra power out there for something else.
Or you could just leave the power on, or leave the switch on all the time. Have a timer for your lights on the inside plugged in.
Yeah,
and you have your outdoor lights on LEDs on night setting.
Motion sensor.
No, not or motion and/or when it gets dark, whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one of the things about the what's going on? Let me go back here. I've seen more people doing that, talking about this, and reels on it and videos on it, putting up a set of lights like this in their chicken coop for the wintertime. And so they have it set up with both a light sensor and a timer. The timer goes around and turns the power on and off. The light sensor says, well, if it's bright outside and there's light coming in, we don't need to turn on. But if it's in the middle of winter and it says, oh, we need extra light for the chickens, it'll come on an hour or two before sun.
Yeah.
And the chickens gets light and they're like, oh, okay. And they don't go into the winter. That's not hibernation, but winter, we're not going to lay eggs now because it's wintertime. Whereas if they had lights coming on and stuff, they're more, oh, it's still summertime. I still need to lay eggs.
Yeah, I got sunlight 18 hours a day. We're good.
Okay.
Yes, there are.
There are, but I won't wear them because they cause problems for me because I like my fine motor skill dexterity. I just turn off the breaker.
So I still have a couple pairs. When I worked at Ford, I was the hybrid technician.
Yeah.
They would send me a new pair of certified high voltage rubber electrical gloves once a month because they expire. And I never used them, but I had to have them. They had to be new because I got inspected for all that. But you don't need those because if you're doing anything with electrical, shut the breaker off.
Yeah.
Don't work with hot. Gil's done it. I've done it. I have hot swapped breakers. That's a scary scenario. I hot swapped a 100 amp 3-phase breaker once. That scared the crap out of me. But I knew what I was doing. Yep, but I knew what I was doing. So I'm still alive. And of course, the person I was with was freaking out the whole time. I'm like, if you see me, if you see a spark and see me shaking, tackle me. Stand back about 5 feet away, get a running start, and knock me off. That's all I need. But it's AC current. AC will makes you shake. DC will make you stick.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I do, like when you're saying hot swapping, breakers and stuff, the lines and stuff. Well, I have the ones where it actually had wires coming in the top, wires coming out of the bottom. So what I did is as I removed one wire, I put a wire nut on it.
Yeah, that's
what I've done. Next one, put a wire nut on it. Remove the next one, put a wire nut on it. I've done that
so many times with the company I work for. Couldn't tell anybody because it's like totally against our safety protocols.
Yeah.
But the shutoff for an exhaust vent was on the roof. And we're not allowed to go on roofs. But I needed to change a piece of equipment out, and I needed to move the wires over. I'm like, I just took my snippers. There's extra wire. I just cut the ends off with rubber-handled wires or rubber-handled pliers. I just snipped the wire and put a wire cap on it, pulled it out, put it in a new piece of equipment, stripped it with my plastic wire strippers, stuck it back in a contactor, and screwed it down with an insulated screwdriver. I'm good.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. All my screwdrivers I use for electrical work are all plastic with rubber coating on them.
Yeah, Klein. Klein makes the best.
Yeah.
Well, they used to, but whatever. They make good ones.
Yeah.
But you don't go out and spend $80 on a screwdriver set because you might touch electrical. No.
Yeah.
Shut the breaker off. You can use a freaking Craftsman screwdriver. It doesn't matter.
But if you have it where it goes over to the house and it's plugging in at the house, you just unplug it, and then you can work. The entire line is dead, and you can work on it. You can add extra receptacles, whatever you need to do out at the garden shed, chicken coop, whatever.
Yeah.
Learn
how to use a voltmeter. You can get a cheap volt. I was going to say, go to Radio Shack. Oh wait, there is no Radio Shack.
I know. I used to love Radio Shack.
I love Radio Shack.
They had the best cheap, or I should say, the best inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I want to cover something here.
If you're going to do electrical, especially AC or DC, it doesn't matter. If you're going to do some electrical, go to Lowe's or big box store. You don't have to buy the Klein, or the whatever. I got all of those.
I got Klein. I also got some of the Husky ones from Home Depot.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Snap-on meter. I got meters. I got all kinds. I have analog meters. I got everything. But
all right,
just buy something so you can do some basic testing. If something doesn't seem to be working right, you can use the probes and test it. Make sure you got voltage, ground, and your neutral and ground are not mixed up. Yeah.
Okay, go into this picture over here. Pretend the one on the left doesn't have pipes coming to it, and it's just the outside receptacle on your house.
Yeah.
The one on the right has only one pipe coming to it, and that goes out to your shed or whatever. There's no pipe on this other one, but out come out of this other one, it has what we call a pigtail, which is just the male end of a cord hanging down there and you can reach that up and just plug it into the receptacle here, and it's got the light switch on it, which turns power on and off too. So you're not plugging in and unplugging. You just want to touch back on that. That's one way of doing it. Now, if you're running a lot out to like you got a brand new detached garage and you didn't want to pay the contractor to do all the hookup and stuff, you can do the electrical yourself, run it over to the main breaker box out by the meter, run your conduit up, install another breaker. It's not that hard. If you're going to do that, I can give you a private lesson showing you doing a live stream out here in my shop here, doing how to do this hot swap stuff and how to do stuff like that.
Yeah, if they've never touched electrical, I'd kind of steer.
Yeah, it's just like, you can probably find a handyman who is a retired electrician who's not going to charge you union rates and say, it's no problem, we can do it together. You do most of the work. I'll just be your advisor, and I'll do the actual final tie-in.
Yeah, or you say, look, I already have all my gang boxes in. I have all the wires run, and they're all at code, 18 inches off the floor, and they're in the middle of the beam, so you're not going to run a nail through it. They're in the boxes. All the pigtails are just hanging there, not hooked up. Everything's there. It's run all the way to the breaker box. I have a dead pigtail hanging inside the breaker box. How much to just hook
everything up and make sure it's all done right.
Make sure we're good.
You basically play final hookup and inspector.
Yeah, basically. That's it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of outdoor, two gang breaker box. See if this brings up the proper thing I want to show. Yes. Okay. So this here is something you might have on the side of your house. You generally, it's either it's covered and you can't see into it, but some of them they'll show you, and your cord comes up in the bottom, you plug it in. But what I want to show you here is, go this one here. So you can put this out on your garden shed or whatever. And this is a breaker. You can put a depending on the extension cord. If you're using a 10 gauge extension cord, you can put a 20 amp breaker on this.
Yeah. Okay. So to be
depending
clear,
on how long you go, how far you're running it.
There is a distance over gauge chart.
Yes.
You're going to run. I'm just, don't quote me. If you're going to run 50 feet on 20 amps, you need 10 gauge. If you're going to run 100 feet at 20 amps, you need 8 gauge. If you're going to run 200 feet at 10 amps or 20 amps, you need O or O gauge. Yeah, the longer the distance, the thicker the wire you need. So you can't run that grandma's Christmas tree extension cord, plug 20 of them together, and plug your shed in there. It'll work. You're going to have one hell of a voltage drop, and your cords will melt the snow in the wintertime.
Your cord from grandma's Christmas tree cord is going to light up like a Christmas tree in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, with a 100-watt light bulb. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So you can get one of these and this one here can actually take 2 breakers on it. And so with this one here, it can either run 110 or you can run 220 on it.
Or 208, 240, whatever your
you can run double breakers on it. But so this is like if you had a horse barn and you just want to have lights on one breaker and a couple of outlets on another breaker, this would be the perfect type box to set up for it.
Yeah, if you're gonna run a distance more than 50 feet, you probably want to run 208 or 220, 240, whatever your inside box is if it's single phase. Because you don't need to run as big of a wire with the higher voltage. If you have 480, you could run 14 gauge wire for 480 at 60 amps. Yeah. It's Ohm's law.
Yeah, it's one of those things dealing with the differences on it.
Yeah. Sorry, electrical can be
confused about choosing extension cords.
I wouldn't get too deep into the the bigger boxes because people that are watching are just like, I just want to power up my shed.
Yeah.
With a light and maybe a heater. Okay.
Yeah, and that's simple. If that's all you want to do, and you just want to run it out there. All right. Across the street, when I bought the property over there, he buried a 10 gauge extension cord going from the house out to a post he had in the field with an outlet box out there, an outdoor outlet receptacle box.
Yep.
He just direct buried it. Unfortunately, he only buried it 8 inches deep.
Yeah, well, so that's not her question. I can answer your question, Diana.
Hang on, I'm bringing up a chart here.
The size of the wire, so the number means the size, and it's backwards. So if it says 14, it's one size. If it says 12, it's bigger. If it says 10, it's bigger. And the bigger, the smaller the number on your extension cord. You could buy 10 gauge 120 volt extension cords. They're money. Those are expensive because that's some thick copper in there running your power.
Hang on here. SIZES. You can just, all right. So here, I'm just Googling electric extension cord sizes.
Well, that's just going to give you pictures of stuff.
But here, all right, I want to bring up a couple. Let's go in here to images. So there's 2 pictures I want to show here.
You need the wire gauge chart. Wire gauge.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
16 gauge up to 10 gauge, which is your common ones. And there's actually 18 gauge, which is your zip cord, what's called zip cord, lamp cord, which is even smaller. And those are your ones that are going to come 6, 9, 12, or 15 feet. And that's it. 2 prongs, not a third ground. Those are the Christmas tree light cords generally.
Yeah.
Then you go up, goes up 14 gauges bigger, 12, blah, 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 blah.
You might want to make that bigger because nobody can see it on their phone.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, let me go ahead and save as. Save images. It's a web file. Dang it.
Oh, they do that now.
Hang on. Let me fix it. I'm going to just copy image. I'm going to bring, I closed it. Dang it. Hang on.
I've actually had to educate electricians on job sites about distance over gauge. And they're like, oh no, I ran 10 gauge. You're fine. I'm like, dude, it's a 50 amp single phase. And you're running it 100 feet. You can't do that. You're going to catch the building on fire. And I pull the chart out, and usually the inspector's standing right there looking at me going, why aren't you an electrician? I'm like, yeah, well, there is that.
Because I get paid more doing my other job here. So I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit.
I don't have to climb in ceilings with rats and cockroaches. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay, so let me make this bigger here now. So you guys can see it.
I had one guy once. He didn't want to go to the store to buy a double pole single phase breaker for 208. He put a piece of coat hanger between 2 40 amp breakers and said, there it is. I was like, no. And I called the inspector on the phone because he approved it. I was like, do you approve the electrical here? He's like, yeah. I said, you need to come back. I sent him a picture. He went, what? I was like, he didn't want to go to the store and buy a breaker. He's trying to save money and blah, blah, blah. And he comes back, shut both breakers off and put a lockout tag out on it and said, you ain't used. The customer was pissed because he couldn't use his equipment. And he had to call his contractor back up, who was not really an electrician, and came back. Whoa, I don't understand. It's like, yeah, we know you don't understand. That's why you did that, because you're stupid.
Okay, so basically amperage chart down here at the bottom. You got the 25 feet, 50 feet, 100 foot. On 16 gauge, for 25 feet, you can it can handle 13 amps.
Yep.
It can handle 13 amps on 50 feet, but only 10 amps on 100 feet. And it goes across. You see now 14 gauges up to 15 amps for 20 and 50, and only 13 amps for 100 feet.
Yep.
And so you go on across, and so you get up here, and it's like
yeah.
All right. The reason why they're giving this is because whether it's a twist lock, because it's a heavier duty lock up here. So the twist lock 12 gauge is up here, and the regular plug here. So they're giving the twist locks more amperage because it has more surface contact when it goes in. And so it goes up to, and then you get up to 20 amps for 10 gauge twist locks up to 100 feet. The other one I wanted to show here, drop this down, get rid of that one. Picture is, dang, don't see it now.
So here's the other thing to consider. And I did this, trust me. I'm upset I did it, didn't think about it. I didn't know. I was doing a little food stand in the middle of a field for a horse show. And I had a refrigerator because I had so much food, I needed to keep it cold. So I put the fridge out in the field on top of a platform. I ran about 600 feet of 14 gauge extension cords all the way from the barn to my refrigerator, plugged it in. It turned on. I was like, okay, cool. Well, the next morning I show up because it's summertime. I wanted to have the fridge cold. Next morning I show up. The other neighbor was out there with a fire extinguisher. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, your fridge caught fire. I was like, what? He's like, did you literally run? And I learned that the hard way. I didn't call my dad. He's like, you literally ran 600 feet of plug-in extension cords across the entire farm to plug in a refrigerator. He's like, the voltage drop. So you get what they call a voltage drop.
Yeah.
And over that distance, and he's like, test it. And I put my meter, I had my meter, he had his meter. I plugged it in. I had 87 volts, not 115. And because of that, if the volts go down, the amp draw goes up and it overheats your cables. And that's where heat comes from. So, yeah, I learned that the hard way. I'll never do that again. So
some cords will say on them, they'll say what they're for, but they'll say the amperage of tools you can use for them. So basically, on this one here, if you buy and go like the Home Depot, it'll say this is good for so many amps. Basically you buy a 50 footer or 100 footer, and it'll say how many amps you can draw on it for the different sizes. That's why you'll look at the 14 versus the 12 versus the 10. And it's like, oh, if I want to run something at 100 feet, I'm going to need to get the 10 gauge.
Yeah. And people know, Gil's probably done this. You're running your chop saw, you're building something like 80 feet away from the house. You run the 100-foot extension cord, which is only, maybe 12 gauge if you're lucky. You plug your chop saw in. And when you pull the trigger, it's like, whoa. It takes a minute. Once it gets up to speed, the kick is gone, so your voltage is back up where it needs to be. Your amp draw is lower. But as you're cutting wood, the drag is faster. It drops, and you'll blow a breaker or burn your saw out. Because
that's why I have a couple 100-foot 14 gauge ones around here for the leaf blower and the hedge trimmer.
Yep, that's what I got. That's all I use mine for now.
I have a 16 gauge 100-foot cord for the snow blower because it's such a low amperage on it.
Yeah, and Christmas.
If I'm going 200 feet, the first cord I'm running out there is the 10 gauge. Yeah. And then I'll plug a lighter one that I can move easier while I'm doing the snow blowing. But yeah, so here's the thing, hedge trimmer, lawnmower, 3 amps, 12 amps, 15 amps for circular saw.
Yep.
And you look over here, so you can use the hedge trimmer on 16 gauge, 14 gauge, 12 gauge. You can't use the circular saw on 16 gauge. You can on 14 gauge, but only on up to 50 feet. And then you can use on 12, you can use it up to 100 feet. But beyond that, you need to get bigger cord.
Yep.
10 gauge.
Or just get it. It's probably cheaper to buy a small generator and bring it with you.
It's almost cheaper to buy a battery powered one and charge extra batteries.
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, generally, and if you go to like the Home Depot or Lowe's, generally the old guys in there, not the young guys, the old guys in the electrical department, you see one of them, talk to them first. They've learned.
Yeah.
And they say, what are you going to run on it? He goes, you can run this on it, you can run this on it. You've got this distance, you can run this one on it. But if you want to run something else on there heavy too, you might as well go to the next cord up so you have that safety margin.
Yep.
So yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Yeah. Outdoor cords are rated. It'll say indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
Indoor cords are your typical
yeah
indoor looking Christmas light cords. They're usually 2-wire, maybe 3, but usually 2. You know, for Christmas lights and little things that only have 2-prong, like a lamp.
Yeah.
It only has 2 prongs. It doesn't have a ground. And you're fine. And remember, if you're using an outdoor receptacle on your house that was built within the last 25, 30 years, your outdoor receptacle 9 times out of 10 is a GFI or a GFCI. I can explain that. But if you plug into that, if you plug your hairdryer in somewhere in the house and it trips the circuit, random outlets around your house go down. Because my house, the GFI outlet is in the garage next to me. It goes to each single outlet by every bathroom sink and 2 in my kitchen and my front and rear outdoors. And it's only on a 15 amp circuit.
Oh, yeah.
So if I plug in the wrong thing and, turn the coffee maker on unplugged in there, my wife hits a hairdryer, blows it. And it's not the GFI that blows, it's the breaker that blows. GFIs are not circuit breakers. Yeah. That is the Hail Mary, I dropped the toaster in the bathtub, and the difference between neutral and ground is more than 0.00005% variance. It shuts it off. Yeah. And those things trip when you look at them funny. The new ones, they're terrible.
When I rewired my house in California, in the master bathroom, there are we have double sinks. On each side, there is its own GFIC receptacle.
GFCI,
GFCI. Over on the wall near the shower, that is on its own breaker.
Yep.
And from that, if that's on its own GFI circuit receptacle. On the that has an inbound and outbound. So on the outbound, I ran that over to power the light switch for the shower. That way, that is protected, a little extra protection there.
Right, and that's why they did that. They put one GFI, saved money, because those things aren't cheap either.
Yeah, they're
regular, receptacle, square, round, whatever, is like, now I'll say like $4. A GFI, 30.
Yeah.
So you're not going to put 10 of them in your house. You're going to put one in there.
I did just because I'm stubborn that way.
Oh, so much. But they put one and ran, $400 of Romex cable all over the house.
No.
Yeah, no, I know. That pisses me off too,
But so like when I taught for Boy Scouts the electricity merit badge, the class I taught to the Boy Scouts was usually 3 hours, and we did it in two separate classes on Saturdays. Right. And I had stuff there, so I had old breaker boxes, and I had them putting wires in and out and teaching about it. And I had 18. Actually, I had 20 a 20 gauge 6-foot extension cord.
20, yeah.
Yeah, so I had, the 20, 18, the 16, the 14, the 12, I had an 8-gauge one, and then I had a 6-4-wire one that's friggin' that big around for 3-phase water pumps, and I showed them that one too. And of course, their eyes all got about that big around. Seeing wire, the copper in it as big as my little finger, 4 of them. But yeah.
Try putting that in a booster heater. When you only have 6 inches from where it comes into the heater to go into the lugs, you're using 2 giant pairs of channel locks to bend it to get it just right to slide. And God help you if you cut it too short, you're screwed.
Yeah. Oh, when we were rewiring the generators to run that at Mountain Cascade, they had the shop foreman had a hair dryer.
Oh
Come
yeah,
out there and he heat up all that rubber and stuff, but you have to put gloves on for that.
oh yeah.
And
You
it's
can heat
also
it up,
nice and soft. You bend it,
but you still got to bend that freaking pinky-sized copper.
yeah. But with the rubber, when it's warm, the rubber's really warm. You can bend it, and you just wait a couple seconds, and then it holds the bend.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so if you want to do it, probably I would say the easiest and cheapest way. Let me go back up here.
If you're unsure about distance and voltage and all that stuff, just buy the next bigger cord. They're expensive because copper is through the roof.
Something like this, couple panels on there. Those are 12-volt panels. You run them down inside. You put a little interchange box where it goes in, weatherproof interchange box, so you can get it inside. And you have your 12 volt. You hook it up to your 12 volt
inverter.
No, you hook it up to a 12 volt MP4 or Anderson power pole adapters. Yeah. And you have a jacker, you just plug it right in. You get the power poles on you plug it right into your jacker.
Yeah, just don't leave it out there when it's 2 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's those are not made to be outdoors in sub-zero weather.
No.
And
you can get a good. I mean, the setup I made at the cabin is from Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't buy is their battery, which they're fine. They're 12-volt batteries, but they're only like, I forget how many watts or amps, whatever. They're small, but that's fine if you have that, the charge controller and that. And you're in a place that doesn't get, even if it gets cold, as long as the battery has charge, it won't freeze. If your battery gets below 10 volts, it'll freeze. It's toast. So, don't do that. Put the battery in the garage, run the wire into the garage where it's semi-heated, and then run your power back out for your stuff.
Now, one of the things that, talking about Harbor Freight, one of the things I must say, you can get a really inexpensive system out there with the solar panels. Let's see, hang on here. Cheaper than the solar panels you would get with a Jackery or any of the other ones. Where's the kit?
Funny thing, my buddy rents a house, and he knows stuff, but he's not going to touch it because it's not his house. He sent me a picture of a double screw-in, the old glass fuses, double 220s for his water heater. His water heater blew a fuse, but the shutoff box blades are all messed up. So the landlord said, I'll send my guy in there who'll replace the shutoff box, whatever. It's going to be without hot water for a day. But he just texted me. He's like, well, the entire panel now has to be replaced because his panel is a mix-match panel of screw-in fuses and breakers from the 60s.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think you know what company I'm talking about now at this. I saw that panel. I was like, you're lucky the house didn't burn down.
Yeah. All right, so from Harbor Freight, this is the Thunderbolt solar, 100-watt Amphomer, and the whatever.
Those things, I love those because they will generate electricity on a cloudy day.
Yes. $129. Back when I first got mine for $129, it had 3 panels on it that were 15 watts each, so only 45.
Right.
And this is 100 amps.
Yep.
And it comes with the charge controller, 2 LED lights.
Oh, those things are bright, dude. I plugged one in. I was like, holy crap, they're bright as anything.
Comes with adapter cords, connectors to hook it up to a battery.
Yep.
And so, and the different style connectors so you can actually plug in the lights. Sorry, it's wiggling much over where my cursor is there. Those 3 holes that you can plug stuff in. Yeah.
Those are 12 volt. Everything there is 12 volt.
Yes. Which means you can go get an old camper trailer lights or trailer lights, that they're screwing light bulbs there, those are 12 volts in the old ones.
Yeah, but the new ones are LED. They draw a whole lot less current and don't run your battery dead.
Yeah.
But I love. I built mine out of that. I got an inverter oversized. I'm taking it out. It's too much. I didn't need a 2,000 watt inverter for my cabin. I could run it on a 750 watt one, and that 2,000 watt one from Harbor Freight is crap. It makes noises and things. It does bad stuff. I'm like, yep, nope, not using that anymore. My warranty ran out on it, so I'm not going to buy another one. But yep.
Now I put in solar generator with it, and all they have is just the Harbor Freight, because I guess people search for it a little bit.
Yeah.
They got
those are their flexible panels. They got some solid monocrystalline.
Actually, this is the monocrystalline solar panel, single 100 watt panel, whereas this one is the 25 watts of the other one. So yeah, so it all depends what you want to do. But Harbor Freight does have some good cheap stuff. You can just get the panels by themselves.
Yep.
But it's almost the same price as you get on Amazon. Actually, Amazon is actually cheaper than that. It
was more expensive, like the 4-panel kit I have. It's more expensive to buy the individual panels than buy the whole kit. So I just bought another kit.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. Now I have extras because now I need one, because one of my panels, I think I mounted them upside down, although it doesn't say. And one of them died.
Yeah.
And so now I got to pull that off, put another one on there. But I got the other 3, so I might buy one. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out in the springtime when what I want to do.
One of the things to consider is so like I have several different types of solar power stations. I hate calling them generators because they're not generators.
It's a battery backup.
It's a battery bank with an inverter in it.
Yep, that's all.
It doesn't generate anything.
Nope.
But what let me see if I can go to see if I can bring this up.
A lot of companies stopped calling them solar generators because they're not, and people gave them shit about it.
Yeah. Trying to find it here. Oh, they pulled it off of there. Dang it.
What's that?
On
Amazon?
On Amazon. Yeah. They did here. So I'll just go to the this way. Rich solar panels. That's why. Okay. So Rich Solar, which was recommended by several guys, they I had 100 watts Rich Solar panel set up in there. But here you have a 200 watt Rich Solar panel, 12 volts, $189. That's 200 watts compared to the 100 watt at Harbor Freight. And they have ones that they can go up. And here's the 200. That's the name, because here you have where's the big one here? The 250 watt one for the 269. So that's a little bit more than $1 per watt. The 195 watt from EcoWorthy is $159. So you can get one of these. These are 12 volt panels, and they come with the. Go over here and make sure it shows it. Might show that one's not showing it very good. Those connectors on the back are the MP4 connectors. You can actually get an MP4 to Anderson Power Pole. And let me bring that up here for you.
You sent me that link. I actually had my wife get me a couple.
Yeah.
The Jackery has its own input plug.
Yeah.
Which is like it's a red and a black, and one's at horizontal, one's vertical. It's really weird, but I found Gil found me the adapter that I need to go to the other ones, which I bought that kit and rewired all my panels to the Anderson style.
Okay, it's not on that side.
Try to keep track of which side's male and female. That kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Power. Okay, did I put it on this one here? Oh yeah, see, like I got some 15-foot 10 gauge ones in my thing here to get here. Futures thing setting up for, where is it? No, I had a bunch of them set up here. I thought they were in. They're not in the power stations. They're not in the power. Crap, I wonder what happened to them. Okay, we'll just do it this way. We'll do the search, folks. MP4.
That's a video format.
Yeah, MP4 solar connectors. That's these things here.
Oh yeah, I got those. Yep, the parallels and the series ones. Yep.
To AN the Anderson. Come on, not jumping in right away. Anderson power poles. Well, there's the Anderson power pole into that one.
That's what I got. That's what Jack.
There we go.
Had. Yeah, there it is.
There you go. There's your connectors from the solar panels to the connectors to fit your Jackery.
Yep, that's what I bought one of those. Thank you.
And yeah, and the thing is, though, on my Opus, it takes both on the machine, but I can put an extra set of solar panels that take the Anderson and the other ones in there. So of only having 400 watts input into my batteries to recharge them, I can have 800 watts into the battery to recharge it. And
you got to be careful. You can't mix and match panels. You shouldn't mix and match panels.
Yes, you should. You know,
if you got one style of panel, they stay on one circuit. If you have another style panel, they stay on their own circuit. Don't try to run them in line with each other.
Yeah,
it does bad things. Yeah. Don't do that.
Anyways, so hopefully they gave you guys out there some information on how you can put stuff out there. But I'm going to say right now, the cheapest and easiest way to do it is probably going to be that Harbor Freight Thunderbolt 100 watt system. 129.
Yeah, well, actually, I think they're a little more now, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on which Harbor Freight you go to, what part of the country they're in.
Yeah. Hang on, it's pulling it back up here. The 169. 169 net currently. It goes. They do go on sale. All of a sudden, they'll drop like $20-$30 for.
Now, if you become a Harbor Freight whatever member,
inside track member,
inside track member, and you pay your $15, you'll probably save $30 on that purchase.
Yeah. Plus, you get coupons for 30%.
Right. Yep.
So, but that would probably, if you have like a chicken coop, that probably was the better thing. But I don't know, a garden shed sitting out there, that would probably work great on it. And then you just get yourself a small lithium iron phosphate battery, one of the 50 amp hour ones, and you just come with it has the cords that come from the battery to the charge controller, so it'll charge the battery and when its battery's low, and it'll run off the battery at night when there's no sun. So that's probably one of the easiest ones. But if you're running something a little bit bigger, like for a bigger garden shed, one of those bigger ones, and you want more light in there, where you actually can drive in your ride-on lawnmower, you have your push mower in there, you have your rototiller in there, you have, it's one of those big ones. You're going to want something with a little bit more lightage and control on it. There are ways to do it, and as always, if you have one, and you want to send me a picture and say, hey, what do you recommend for this? And take multiple pictures, outside, inside, so I can see exactly what you have, and I can probably line you up with some good stuff, good information on it.
And dimensions. Height, width, length, everything.
Something for glow lights, grow lights. Then you're going to want to go a little bit bigger for your
extension cord.
Well, for your extension cord, even if you're using the LED grow lights, but for your if you're going to run solar,
LED grow lights are AC, so
Yeah.
your DC is going to have to convert to AC to do that. You lose energy
Yeah.
when you do that.
Period. You're gonna need a solar generator that has like a 1500 or 2000 watt inverter on it, and then you're gonna need to have
well, it depends on how many grow lights you're doing. If you're filling up a 50-foot greenhouse, yeah. If you're doing a little greenhouse with like 4 grow lights on grow shelves,
you
probably go with a 1,000 watt or 1,000 watt hour or 1,500 watt hour Jackery or something. You don't got to go stupid money.
Yeah,
and you put on a timer, and the Jackery and stuff. I mean, they'll shut off when they get to a certain point. I mean, they shut off, or you just go to 0, and they shut off by themselves. Put on a timer, but even those electric timers
draw power
current. So you become really aware of shut the light off, kids, because you're killing my energy bill. You really become aware of that as you're watching the my Jack. I love it. I can see it's like I turn on my ceiling fan in the cabin on low. It draws, initially it'll kick up to like 18 watts, but it drops to 3. And then I turn the light switch on, which is the light bulb, which is just a 25 watt equivalent LED. That only draws 1. So I can let that go for days and I don't worry about it. But if I plug my mini fridge in, when it kicks on, it'll draw, 300 watts real quick. It'll drop down while the compressor's running after it kicks. It'll run it at 100 watts for like 20 minutes or an hour until it gets cold. And then and you're watching your electric disappear, and it's dark out and it's going to rain the next day. It's like, crap. I'm going to have to fire up the generator just to charge my Jackery at the same. But that's a good thing. The Jackery, you can charge it. It's like a universal power, unlimited power supply. You can charge it and run load on it at the same time. It'll show you have 160 watts coming in. You got 40 watts going out. Great. I got 120 watt gain. It's going to take whatever hours to bring it back up to whatever percentage I need to make it through the night with my fridge going.
Oh, you'll love this. My big system from Opus. It's I have the B2 with 2 extra batteries on it. And
hey, Tammy. Tammy's in. Hi, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy. For my Opus, I'm running the refrigerator and a chest freezer on it, the toaster, and the microwave.
Right.
And I run it on those during the
day
hours from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. because those are the expensive. Those are the bat poop crazy expensive hours for the power company here.
Well, they got you. You also have a smart meter, and I have my issues with those too. But anyway,
so like at 11 o'clock tonight, after being on there for 5 hours, the battery in the main unit will be down to 82%. It'll be down to 91%. It'll be in the first battery in line. It'll be down to 93% in the second battery, and it's plugged into the wall, and I got a timer on it. So as soon as we're out of the expensive time, it kicks back. It turns back onto the power from the wall, and it starts charging up. And in 40 minutes, it's fully charged. All 3 big battery units are fully charged.
Hey, wait till I am dying if when Samsung finally goes full mainstream with their battery. The silver carbon battery. When that comes in, you want to see some drastic changes in these home power supplies? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can put in these batteries. You can run them for 60 hours, and it takes 20 minutes to charge it back up.
Yeah. Ben Gilmore was at the electronic consumers show, whatever.
Yeah, the electronic show in Vegas.
Yeah. And he was talking with, all the ones from EcoFlow, Opus, Pecron, Jackery, every one of them. And one of the questions he was asking him on the slide, and he only recorded it once that I've seen. He goes, "What do you think? What do you guys think about the new silver ones?" He goes, "We're dying for those to come in.
Yeah.
When those batteries become a workable thing, it'll totally change up what we can do." And using these for uninterrupted power supply, using your power stations for uninterrupted power supply will be at a whole new level.
Yeah. You can run it for 10 hours and it takes 30 seconds to charge it back up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It just charges up so fast.
I will be pro electric power on stuff when they finally get it out. Now, Samsung has it. China has it for some other company. But I don't know. Something about the price of silver keeps holding them back right now. And that's a whole nother show, not here.
But anyways, we're well over here. So wrapping it up for everybody. If you just have something small, you can okay, I didn't touch on this one before, so I'm gonna touch on it now. If your chicken coop is 50 feet away from the house, and all you want is a light in there like this to come on at certain times, so to help with the chickens, or a little heat lamp over the metal water can to keep it from freezing at night, or even one that has a heater that sits on it and it runs 150 watts is all it runs. Yeah, you can run an extension cord up, get proper hangers though for it, through the trees or whatever, over to the house and plug it into the house. Simplest way to do it, right? That is the simplest way to do it, but you got to make sure you have the right size extension cord.
Yep.
And of course, if you're only drawing 150 watts for that little water heater, heck, you can use a 14 gauge extension cord for that.
Yeah, crap, you can almost use zip cord. Just kidding.
Yeah, almost. But yeah, there are ways, once you have power out there for that, it's like, all right, I want to step up my game out here. I want to put a little fan out there for the summertime. Then you got to calculate your wattage and there's online calculators. You enter in how many watts does this draw for how many amps does this 15 watt fan draw? It'll tell you how many amps. And that way you can add up your amps to see what size cord you got to use.
You mean they have an app for Ohm's law? Volts,
yes.
watts, amps?
Yes, they do.
So a 1,200 watt hair dryer running at 120 volts draws 10 amps. Huh. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right.
Sorry.
But
I just do the mental math. I'm like, yep, no won't work, or yep, we're good.
Yeah. But your 1,800 watt microwave on 120 volts, that's a 20 amp breaker.
Yes.
Yeah. Safety. Always go to the next higher level.
No, there's actually a code. There's a code for that.
Yeah.
It's whatever the amps is plus 20%. And if that 20% brings you to a 42 amp breaker, you're going to 50.
Yeah.
Period.
Or 45 if you can find it.
You can't find a 45. You know that. There's no such animal.
Yes, there is. You can order it, but you're going to pay more for that 45 than you are for the 50.
Just put a freaking 50 in there, running on 10 gauge. You're fine. You're good.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So here's what's coming up. Oh, we lost a couple people already. Tomorrow, Saturday, at 9 o'clock, I'll be going live for day 3 of 9 o'clock a.m. Day 3 of editing one of my novels, and we're up to chapter 5, The Leak. So we're up to that one there. We'll do chapter 5 and 6 tomorrow. And then at noon, my time, this is mountain time, 9 o'clock mountain time. At noon mountain time or 2 o'clock Eastern time, Shadow Scout Swede goes live, and his live is the first 48 hours of a power outage, what to do. And we're breaking it up so that the first hour of his live is going to be the first 12 hours. The second hour is going to be the second 12 hours. The third hour is going to be the third 12 hours. and the 4th hour is going to be the final of the 24 hours. And then at 6 o'clock Mountain, 8 Eastern time, it is, well, hang on, let me get it up there. It's on the tip of my tongue. I've already got it set up. ET. This was a viewer suggested topic. After ET arrives, what are your plans? Crap! Now I have the real ID. Now I got to get my intergalactic ID.
Crap! Now I need a sat phone so ET can phone home. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Monday on Camppatton Family Compound. Tammy, Mark, did I send you and Tammy the link for Mondays already?
No.
I think I did. I'm not sure. If not, let me know if I didn't send it. And I'll send it out to you guys.
I know. I went scrolling through see if you sent me one for this one, and the last link was the last episode.
Okay, so Monday is Groundhog Day, and so it's going to be open chat, question and answer. Okay, I'll send it to you as soon as I'm done here with this live stream. So it's open chat.
It's a free for all. Yeah,
it's a free for all. Yeah. I've also mentioned on several of the comments on Tammy's Facebook page, Rebel Canner's Facebook page. People were asking questions and go, "Hey, come in and ask Tammy." It's open chat on Monday, so we'll see if we get more people from hers coming in to ask questions about canning and regular food preservation as well.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Tuesday.
Take me to your leader. Really? Really?
No. We're not going to take you to our leader. We're going to give you the names of ones we want you to go ahead and take and do probing on.
Is this a rescue mission? Thank you.
Yes. All right. Tuesday on Gray Man Prepping, camping gear for disasters. So we're going to talk about how to use camping gears for disaster, after the hurricane's gone through and your house roof is missing, whatever it is, evacuating for a wildfire, whatever. How to use camping gear for disasters. Thursday's the Midnight Ride, and next Friday here, the topic is the home grocery store.
I got one of those.
In other words, you should be stockpiling everything in your home that you would need to get from a grocery store.
I got one of those.
Yeah, and you source your supplies from locals if you can. All right, folks. So that's what's coming up for the next week. Yeah, and we will see you. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow morning, possibly at 11 Eastern, 9 Mountain Time for 2 hours of. I'm reading through the story and catching mistakes and stuff, because when I read it out loud, I find mistakes I missed when I was typing it, because when I'm typing it makes sense in my head. When I try to speak it, it's like, okay, that won't make sense. The only thing that does make sense when I type it in is when I'm speaking hillbilly. But so we got 11 o'clock for my proofreading the Against the Wind novel. 2 o'clock for the live with Shadow Scout Swede, UK Rim Prepper, World Survivalist, the Sofa Survivalist, and Gray Man Prepping. And at 8 p.m. for After ET Arrives. What are your plans? All right, everyone. Stay safe. Have a good evening, and we'll see you sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good night.